You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate. Oh no. Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate. Oh no. Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Put a one in the chat. Hold on. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? I want to make sure. I just want to make sure that y'all can hear me. Just put a one in the chat. If you can hear me, I just want to make sure. Okay. A lot of ones, a lot of ones. Perfect. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you all, ladies, gentlemen. Welcome, welcome back to the SeanDavieWay show. Sorry, I know I'm a little tardy for the party. I know I'm a little tardy for the party, but I don't feel good. So and my day has been full. Like I've literally had a full day. You know, when you're a parent and whatnot, your day just kind of just goes, and you look up and then half the day is gone. So yeah. So yes, I am drinking. Look at Janae. I am drinking tea. Here I have my ginger tea here. I have that. And I also have water and liquor, just in case. I mean, you never know. And vapor rub. So yeah, I'm suited and booted. I'm suited and booted. So thank you all. You sound lit. I hope so. I hope I sound like lit instead of like, because I'm not lit. But I'm just chilling. Yeah. So I just I don't feel the greatest, but whatever. The show must go on. I feel like you know well, you move and move. So I'm going to move. So that's what I'm going to do. So shout out to all of y'all again. Welcome back to the SeanDavieWay show. Thank you for all your continuous support. I really appreciate it. I really do. Y'all have been really supportive. And then I've also had a lot of people that is coming from Larry's camp coming into my DM talking to themselves. So all of them are unread except for one. I did take the time to read, and I cracked my nail responding. So I absolutely did. So I really don't care. Like I said, with the people that believe Larry, I don't care. You have that right. Gross. I don't care. He's still guilty. So I feel how I feel. I believe Levante, and I also believe Larry. So yeah, the confessor himself. So yeah, Flip. So I feel how I feel. You're not taking that away. I don't care who goes live and what they say. Oh well, it'll fall on deaf ears because like I said, I don't care. If it's not Larry or Levantre, I don't want to hear it. I really don't care. Either person can come into my DM with a problem. That's completely fine. But other than that, I don't care. Moving right along. So the title of the show is Jaguar Wright is home, and she definitely is. And also Tasha K exposes Larry Reid's multiple personalities. Larry confesses, all right, is what this is called. So let me pull up Jaguar. Let's get into her. So shout out to Jaguar Wright. I'm glad she's home. She's safe, all that good stuff. She went live today on IG. This is her from today. Absolutely. She tagged me in the post, what, all that good stuff. Love her. I'm glad she's home. That's all I wanted. This is all I wanted. So I'm glad she's home. Now, I mean, Jaguar, do your thing. Absolutely. She is, as you see, still with her husband, Goomba. Shout out to Goomba. Shout out to Gerald. Where's Burnt Gap? Burnt Gap, why folk come? You been live hour on an hour on an hour on an hour, okay, about your good sis, about your good Judy, about your good Judy. But you ain't been live, so at least not talking about this. Is this good news? Is this good news? You over there having concerts without permission? All of that. Free illegal concert. So you're over there having illegal concerts. All that, talking to people from when they in the hospital. All of this, girl. Yes, here we go. Yes, here we go. No, because she tried to say that I'm not a good friend. She tried to make Jaguar turn on me. So you're damn right. Here we go, Sharita. Absolutely. No, I'm getting my ones. I'm swinging her in them bushes. I absolutely am. She's getting swung in the bushes. So I need to know, girl, why she ain't been live all day about her good Judy. Burnt Gap. Unfit. You not happy? Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. I was wondering why Jaguar didn't call you all weekend, girl. Did Nurse Tony not have any weekend minutes? Let me guess. Boost Mobile. Okay, girl. So shout out to Jaguar Wright. She's home. That's all that matters. I'm happy for her. Love her down. Shout out to Jaguar. Absolutely. I love her. Again, we have no problem. Like I said, even if Jag, say she did, because people in the chat was at me, all this while Jaguar's live. And they're like, oh, Sean, your friend over here acting like she's throwing shade at you and, this and that. I'm like, girl, are we in the same live? Shout out to Nikwa. I hope I'm saying that right. For becoming a member. Welcome. So I'm just like, are we watching the same live? Because I'm like, I'm over there too. And I don't see that. I'm like, she ain't shading me. I'm just like, but okay. So because I was there, I'm like, do you not see me in this chat, girl? Do you not see me in this good chat? She's not shading me, girl. I'm like, I promise you. So then after Jag shouted me out, then I was like, where are the people that was just at me? Why fuck come y'all stop adding me? Keep at me. Keep at me. Because there's a lot of content creators here to see if there's going to be drama. I already told y'all. Even if Jaguar had a problem with me, even if Jaguar came for me, I'm not coming for that woman. Just not doing it. Because I actually care about her. So I'm not about to go against somebody, even if they are angry with me, even if they're mad at me. If I rock with you, I'm not coming for you. Like that's my rule. I'm not doing that. I'm not. So yeah, so shout out to Jag and her husband. They are still together. As you see, Jag stated that she is still planning on working with Solar. And like I said, Jag gets to do her thing. All right. Now, I did what I was supposed to do. Okay. With the Lord, send me sweet baby Jesus of 6 pounds and 7 ounces. I was born in a manger. Okay. I did what the Lord told me to do. Okay, that's what that were. Okay, I did just that. All right. So now what happens happens. Okay. Look, the most I'm gonna do is dial 911. Okay, that's the most I'm going to do. So shout out to Jaguar Wright and all of her decisions because they are all of hers. Okay, now y'all get to go to Jag and ask Jag all of these questions that y'all done have her that y'all love coming up here asking me. Okay, girl, that's what that were. Now y'all get to go over there and jump in her comments. She be responding. So go right on over there. Jag, why folk come, girl? Yeah, but as of now, I did my job, and the sweet baby Jesus, 6 pounds, born 7 ounces, born in the manger of complete innocence. Okay. Okay. He's fine with what I did. All right. Move right along. So shout out to Jaguar Wright. I'm glad she is home. Salute to you, Ma. Salute to you and your family. I hope everything goes over well. She's going to be on Philadelphia tonight. I believe she's doing what is it called? Keeping It a Bean. She's doing the Keeping It a Bean podcast over there on Philadelphia tonight. So I think that y'all should definitely go over there and support, or rather you like her, rather you don't like her. I think you should go over there and support. Because I'm gonna be over there. I don't know exactly what time it starts, but I asked her, but I don't think she saw. But I was just like, what time does it start? So yeah, it could have already been done. I don't know. I've been running around. So, but yeah, so shout out to Jag. She is definitely home. So anybody that had any questions, all that good stuff, now's your time. So moving on from Jag, shout out to her. She's home. I'm glad. Yeah, what do y'all have to say about Jag being home before we move on? I guess I should jump in the chat. I'm always just moving on, and y'all be like, Sean, we talking to you. You'll be like, Sean, we're down here talking to you. Can you post the link? No. Can somebody go get it? I'm not about to do all that, girl. No, I'm not new, girl. Bird Gap didn't even do all that. So she wasn't dropping no links. She wasn't doing none of that. But if one of the moderators or someone will go and grab the link, absolutely. But I'm the grandmother on that. But I'm just not doing that. Like I feel like that's a lot of work. It's a lot of buttons. I don't feel like doing that. But somebody else that's not running the show, I don't know. Maybe they can for you, sweetie. Shout out to G Jones. So if anybody wants to grab that Philadelphia link, it's www.philadelphia.com. Grab that link and bring it over here real quick and just drop it and be like, shine the link above. Then I will keep sharing it. I absolutely will, because again, I am a good friend. I'm such a good friend. Bird Gap. Oh, girl, hair flip, girl, dark mouth. Girl, I'm because I'm such a good friend. So, move right along. Let's get into Larry Hide Your Kids Read. Now, Larry, don't ever leave none of your cousins, little cousins, anybody under the age of 18 around him, okay? Especially any number down. So if in your city it is 16 is the age of consent, don't you leave nobody over there under the age of 19, especially no boy. So I'm here, flip. So let's get into him. Larry, hide your teens. Larry, hide your high school. Larry, oh, I'm so God. Larry, the graduate, like a Larry, the accidentally parked in a junior high school parking lot. Reid. So Larry decides to go live and try to act like I wasn't talking to him, and I was. Just like he said over there on live right now on IG. Now I'm not saying I influenced that, but I'm not going to say that I'm not. Are you mad, girl? Are you mad? So yeah, here flip. So before I was rudely interrupted by SA, the M word. I mean, you're bad, Larry. You're bad. So I was there and I found out that Larry okay. Okay, now y'all can hear me. Sorry. This is all new to me. I'm literally unplugging things and plugging things up as we speak. So ooh, not leverage just to read. Sucking. Ooh. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all should. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, you should be able to hear me now. Okay. So can't hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, because I'm about to sound off. So I need to be heard. I need to be heard. I need to be heard. Okay. I need to be heard because I get yesterday. A lot of y'all, y'all missed the comedy, Sean. So I'm trying to give you the comedy before we get into the serious because we about to get into the serious. So I need to make, okay, it's a lot of ones in the chat. Cool. So yesterday, with this audio we sat over here and listened to, we found out a lot of things about Larry Hide Your Kids Reid. Okay? We found out that he is guilty. All right? In my opinion. I don't care who doesn't like it. You're not going to change it. Larry did it. Now, I recall a time, since they want us to do our homework, I recall a time when Larry, don't leave no teenagers over here, Reid, was speaking of personalities. Okay? Now, when Larry hired your high school students, Reid was sitting over there talking about multiple personalities. Okay? He was stating that he was addicted to certain things. Okay? He was addicted to watching people procreate. Now, I'm not going to say the word, but he was addicted to watching people try to reproduce. Okay? The P word. Okay? Like Kurt Franklin. I don't know what it is about these pastors and watching people reproduce, watching people try to procreate, but don't. Okay? So he was addicted to it. All right? He even just said this again recently over there where he shouldn't have been talking about over at that YouTube. Okay? So he sat over there on that YouTube's channel and he said the same thing that he used to be. Okay? I find that mighty weird when everybody know 80% of the P word, okay? 80%, 90% of the P word, okay, is on OnlyFans. Ooh, let me get some show. You have an OnlyFans. Larry Hide Your Teenagers Reid. Okay, recently on this Patreon, you decided to get rid of said OnlyFans. Yeah. Because it's hard to avoid the P word on OnlyFans. Okay, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Everybody is whore over there. That's Babylon. Okay, pastor. Yeah. Okay. So you sat over there and said that you was addicted to said thing, meaning that if you are addicted to something, that you stop it. So if you're addicted to smoking, you stop smoking cigarettes. Absolutely. Larry. You can't say you stopped smoking cigarettes while smoking what? That's weird. How you stop smoking? Doesn't make sense. Because that's basically what you're saying. Okay. I was addicted to watching people procreate. I was addicted to that. Then I stopped, like Kurt Franklin. Y'all have that in common. You're welcome. Absolutely. So you stop watching it. Just like if you stop smoking, you stop smoking. You don't continue to smoke or here and there smoke. That means you still smoke. Even if it's here and there, you still do it. Stopping something is not doing it at all. And that's what you said. Okay? Okay? Just saying. Just saying. So I found that mighty weird. I'm like, oh, okay, well, how you stop watching that if you want OnlyFans? It's everywhere. It's unavoidable. Larry, hide your a middle school cheering Reid. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, you're lying. You're still addicted to this day. You gotta be. And then again, you're sitting over here asking this YouTuber about his OnlyFans, which is attached to him being sexual or showing being sexual, whether it's modeling pictures or whatever. A man, like, he not over on OnlyFans talking about Bible study. That YouTube ain't over there doing that. Ooh, weird. Ooh. Yeah, he not over there doing that. So if you're bringing up his OnlyFans, you're bringing it up in a sexual way. Okay? And this isn't the first time, Larry, you talked about his OnlyFans. I'm just like, lie much. I'm just like, but whatever. Although you don't watch it anymore, you were addicted and it was connected to this personality. So I bring all that up to bring up this personality, because Larry has multiple personalities, okay? And not in a literal sense to where he's walking around to where there's 3 different personalities that's controlling him. So no, I'm not saying it like that. He's saying that basically out with the old, in with the new, okay? Meaning that there's a certain part of him that makes certain decisions that he avoids. Weird. So this personality of Larry's, okay, which he stated out loud before, that was connected to negative things. And he shed, said personality to where he's no longer that person. Ugh. It's getting a little rough. I say that to say this. Let's pull this back up. Now, let me go to the, I think it's like the 2-minute mark. Around the 2-minute mark. Right here. Okay. Listen to this.
Into my room and asked me, engaged me, talked to me, however. So we were by ourselves because there were things that he would do and nobody would be around. Now, what I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose. And
pause. So, with Larry stating what he just said, which I can play it again, and I will. He's stating that he didn't do it, okay? Basically, okay? But, okay, because I want to make sure I line this up. I want to make sure I'm breaking this down properly, okay? So, with Larry stating, so he can turn it on and off, I guess. I have no idea. Only he can explain that. But what he is stating, I'm going to play it one more time. Hold on, let me start this over. I'm going to play it one more time. So it's at the 2-minute mark. Listen.
I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, I'm going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. Lisa, I am so sorry. I'm listening to you talk, and I remember it's like.
So Larry's stating, make sure y'all can hear me. Yeah. So what he's stating within this moment is that what Levontre is stating about him, he's not saying it didn't happen. He's not saying it's not true. What he's saying is that's not me. So meaning that's not me anymore. Like I'm not that person. Chris Stokes did this same thing. The same thing. When Raz-B confronted him and his brother Ricky Romance on the phone, Chris Stokes stated, I'm not that person anymore. That's not me. He stated literally the same thing. I'm like, wow. That's why I was chilling to me because I'm like, Chris Stokes said the same thing. The exact same thing. And Raz-B's story is still the same. I believe Raz-B. Why am I not going to believe Levontre? Why am I not? You're saying that's not me. So you're just stating it out loud right in front of everyone. Again, Larry, your team, where are they? I would love for them to explain this because you're just simply stating that it's not me. You've stated out loud that you've had multiple personalities in a sense to where were multiple Larrys and whatnot, and to when with decision making. So the good Larry is Larry, and then the other person that turns into this person that does things like what happened to Levontre, that person has a whole nother name. So you completely try to disassociate yourself from that person because you feel that that is not you anymore. That's something that I did, but it is not who I am. So the person that he's explaining to y'all don't even exist anymore. That person's gone. So that is, I'm just keeping it real. That is exactly what I'm getting from it. I mean, he stated this out of his own mouth. So, because listening to it, again, and I didn't state this yesterday and I did it deliberately. I deliberately not said anything about this because I wanted to separate the two because it's a lot. So you're confused. I'll try to put it in layman's terms for you. So in the past, Larry has stated that he was addicted to certain things and whatnot, and he removed himself from making certain decisions. Okay. When he would make set decisions, he would name that person. So when you make bad decisions, you don't name it. You don't give it a name, or anything like that. It's just you, how normal people look. I'm not gonna say normal, but how most people look at it. But somebody like Larry, whom is spiritual, he feels that that person that when he's which is him making these decisions, but when he it's like a blackout, type of situation, something another person, part of him or part of his personality clicks. So it's kind of like Dahmer, if you will. When Dahmer was in the public, he was this great person. But then behind closed doors, he did horrific things. So he could name that person because Dahmer didn't walk around just ending people's lives. And that's not what he did. Like in the daylight, like right, like none of that was happening. It was all calculated, and how he did it. So when that calculation, when that switch flips, when Dahmer would see a victim or a future victim, a switch clicks. So it's the same thing with people that do the M word to people, that have, victims that victimize people. I should not victims, people who victimize. So when that trigger is set and the switch is flipped and he's doing certain things that Levontre is blaming him for, or we're not blaming him for, outing him for, then that's not Larry within that moment. That's not me. There's something else is taken over me within that moment. I've stepped outside of myself, outer body experience. Basically, the good Larry, this person that's talking, he's standing in a corner and somebody else is completely taking over when he's telling people to allegedly strip and all of that stuff. That's not me. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. Like I don't do anything. I don't have any teenagers around me or anything like that. 17-year-olds, I'm not going after them, seeking them, letting any of them be around. Like I'm not doing any of that anymore. Like that's not who I am. That's not me. So that person's gone. I've abolished that part of me, is what he's saying. So again, I will play it again. I played it a couple times, so y'all can hear it. I played it a couple times.
me, however. So we were by ourselves because there were things that he would do and nobody would be around. Now, what I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, I want to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. At least I am the reason why, I want to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. Lisa, I am so sorry. I'm listening to I'm going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. Lisa, I am so sorry. I'm listening to you talk. And I remember, and this is the reason why, I'm going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. Lisa, I am so sorry. I'm listening to you talk.
He's been on record multiple times stating that, there was different sides to him. I believe he even named it. That's why I was asking that content creator, that subscriber. I'm like, did you have him like name it? Does he ever say like the name of it, or anything like that? But I believe he may have. But again, so with this being said yesterday, I stated as if people were alluding, like I said, in the streets. I didn't say me. I said in the streets. There was alluding that he was blaming this on his elder pastor, the one that is deceased. But, okay, I mean, I get it. But he never said like a culprit. But with him saying this, if you didn't realize that he was talking about himself, you would have to think that he's talking of someone else. Because he's not speaking, he's basically speaking in like what the third person is what it's giving. So that's just how I feel. If this isn't true, Larry, you feel free to come and explain this, because the elder theory, I don't think it's that. I don't think that at all, honestly. I'm just like, oh, well, he's talking about himself. I'm like, it's not like he's talking about himself. So then that's when I went to go look around, and I'm just like, oh, well, he talking about himself. So he's just saying that that's not him anymore. He's saying that that person that did that to Levante, that person no longer exists. Okay? I'm a good man now. I don't do those things. That person was not me. So he's not negating what happened to Levante. He's not saying these things didn't happen to Levante. He's saying that person that he's taunting and, talking about, that's not me. It's that simple. I mean, I would love to hear Larry's thoughts. This is from his arm. This is the same Patreon we listened to yesterday. I didn't change nothing. The same video. Same video. I didn't change anything or anything. Sounds like a confession. That's why it would be best for him to just, I get why he was being quiet, because he talks too much. I get it now. I'm like, oh, this is why you were quiet. This is why, oh, okay. You let your team talk for you. I get it. I get it. But from what I gather, you it's clear as day. And I'm not adding anything in there, or anything like that. He has literally stated out loud. He said it out of his own mouth. That's why I said, Lear readers, come tell me I'm lying. Come tell me I'm lying. So the part of him that was addicted to watching people procreate, that wasn't a part of past Larry? Of this person that no longer exists? Absolutely. That if I'm lying, I'm lying, and I'm still sitting here. So again, he talked too much. He absolutely do. I 100% believe Levontre. And I say Larry did it. And that's what people didn't get. It wasn't, because again, even with Tasha K, like I said, what people may, what me too, thinking that it may have been out of spite. I will say this about Tasha. Tasha has went through her own things in life. She has been, essayed herself, N-worded herself when she was coming up. So for her to go after this, again, it could be very personal to her too. It doesn't mean that she's going to let it show, as much as y'all would have feel like Tasha don't feel, she clearly feels. I mean, when that stuff happened with Storm, she can't convince me her feelings wasn't hurt. They were. So, yeah, but you got to be you don't have time to sit around. You don't have time for that. It's like, I got to take action. And he's talking about me. Like, ain't he coming for me? Dish rag. So, here, flip. So, yeah, I definitely feel like she feels. So, this could be very personal to her. It could be. So, I'm not going to take that from Tasha because she has been through things throughout her life. She has. And I'm not going to take that from her. I don't care how much me and her don't get along. I don't care. Like, that ain't nothing that you play with. Okay? The woman went through it, and not just her. So that is true. That's nothing she lied about. I will give her that. So, yeah, it may be very personal to her. It may be. Yeah, I may not like you, but still at the same time, this. And one thing that I did hear Tasha say, to what I said I would agree with, because I was the same. I didn't have all of this information on it. So the people that were talking about, the ones who first brought it out and stuff like that, I had no idea. I just found out who Larry Reid was last year. I had him confused with a whole nother person before that. Absolutely. I was cussing out somebody else and I was saying his name and it wasn't even him. I was like, oh, you had the right person. Because when I went search him in, I'm like, who is this? Like, I had no idea who he was. I found him last year. So if he famous, I didn't know about it until last year. So again, so this could be personal. It could be. So again, it could be, who cares? They don't like each other. Ooh, oh well. Levantre's telling the truth. And Larry Reid signed, sealed, and delivered it. So he admits a lot of things throughout. That's why I said this Patreon is crucial. And it could be crucial on both ends. For Levantre, all of this information is great. Like, if he wants to take Larry Reid to court, a lot of the things that Larry Reid said in this Patreon are very helpful to Levantre. Very helpful to him. Tasha K's episode, or whatnot. So I don't know what Levantre plans on doing, but whatever he does plan on doing, Larry Reid definitely helped him. He aided him. He did. And going on that platform over there instead of handling, because again, he could have went over to that platform with that YouTuber and Armand and talked about something completely different. He did not have to address anything. He did not have to. He didn't. He could have just chilled. Like, and he could have just kikied and talked about, anything. If Larry's allegations came up, it's because he wanted to talk about them. That YouTuber and Armand, I feel like they would have respected him if he said that he didn't want to address that. But then, okay. When you're interviewing somebody, if they don't want to talk about something, you agree. Seriously. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's just how I feel. So I would love to hear what that meant, because I don't feel like he's talking about an elder pastor. I don't feel that way. I don't. I really do not. So I'm going to get into some of y'all comments because I know there is a lot. What do you think of the audio that we just heard? What do you think about it? I do. I absolutely do. Shout out to you. I do talk a lot, and I'm gonna keep on talking. Yes, because this talking mouth raises awareness, not wears horrible makeup. With the duck lip. It is 2023. We're doing straight faces now. Did you not hear about lines? You didn't hear about none of that? Okay. I can do that. You can't. So yeah, I do talk too much. I do. I'm just introduce me to the person that's gonna tell me to be quiet. Big introduce me to that person. Absolutely. I don't care what Larry say, you say, If Larry feeling froggy, sue. I really don't care. I don't even have to give him permission to sue, but you go right ahead, sir. You go right ahead. It sounds like you like wasting money. So yeah, you go right ahead. I have no problem with that. Absolutely. And I'm gonna take the cameras with me the entire way. I promise you. It's all content. So from day one to the last one, wherever I can bring the cameras, I'm bringing them. I promise you, all the way up to the court door. So yeah, the whole thing is being vlogged. It absolutely is. What you bet? What you bet? I'm gonna be TMZ. So yeah, go right ahead. I really don't care. Like, I believe Levandre, and he's not taking that from me. There's no Cash App, Super Chat, none of that's big enough. No. You're guilty. It is what it is. You're admitting out of your own mouth. Your own mouth. Like that's what it be for me. That's why I say, like, you have to be a very ignorant person to not hear things out. I heard Larry Reid's a lot of what Larry Reid has had to say about this, which is a whole lot of nothing. It's a lot of deflection, and it's still sexual. Like, it's a lot. And it's weird that all of the things that he states that he doesn't do, he does. He literally sat on a phone with 4 YouTubers: Tasha, Armand, OKP, and Armand, with Larry Reid. I mean, 3, my fault. I said 4. 3, sorry. Okay. They were all on the phone with him because he lied to all of them. So their common bond within that moment was that he lied to all of them. I'm like, did nobody catch that? Like, he's a liar. It's like, this is what he do. Everybody on the phone was checking him. You're messy. Like, I'm like, that's weird. Like, but he says in this Patreon, I didn't know that these people thought it was a competition. I didn't know that these men, these boys felt this way. Just like you didn't think those YouTubers were going to feel some type of way with you swirling information around. That's what you did with them. You did the same thing. I'm just like, you keep saying that you're not capable of these things. You don't realize them. Yet, I'm like, weird. I'm like, yeah, that makes no sense. He was addicted to watching people procreate. And then he says that he doesn't watch it anymore. Yet he's on one of the biggest platforms to where that is advertised. I'm just like, you have an OnlyFans. You're over here talking to this YouTuber about his OnlyFans. But you are away from, you're live talking about Christopher Milan before and all of that, and his OnlyFans and demolds, and he used to preach against same-sex anything. He used to preach against it. He said in the Patreon that he was taking his OnlyFans down, that it was coming down. He said it. That's how I know. I know because he said it. Didn't nobody tell me. Didn't nobody, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Ain't nobody gonna get at me. I promise you. Anybody come for me gonna be talking to themselves if it's not Larry Reid or Levandre. Those will be the only people that get a response from me. I promise. Those will be. I don't care what nobody else has to say besides the people involved. That's it. I feel like that's the problem now. Is everybody is putting their hands where they don't belong. That's why I said, just deal with the sources. Deal with what Levandre say and what Larry say. Nothing else matters. What else matters? No other party matters. That's it. Levandre and Larry. That's it. The only way for, honestly, there's no way for Larry to change my mind at this point. Because I don't feel like Levandre would ever come forward and say that this stuff wasn't true, that he made it up. I don't feel like he would say that because I don't feel like he's making it up. I don't. Even with Larry literally putting himself at the scene of the crimes, you know, and all of that. And I'm not talking about the address of it. He said out of his own mouth that there was times that Levante, came into his room alone. That certain things, he would do certain things when nobody was around. He said that. So if you're going to argue, you got to argue with him. You can't argue with me. That's why I said no one that says anything to me besides Larry or Levante, you talking to yourself. Deaf ears, it will fall on. I promise. I won't hear. And I'm going to block anybody that send me anything because I don't care, literally, at all. This is between Larry and I. How I feel is about Larry. He is an individual. And people need to let him be that. This is his problem now. Being enabled and supported by a bunch of people that feel some type of way themselves. Because it's the ones that's backing for him for me. You know, that he slapped all of them in the face. He absolutely did. He made anybody supporting him look bad. That's why I got mad. Because I'm just like, because I had no issue with Larry. No issue with him at all. But there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know. So I was judging it from a blind, base anyway, because I really didn't know much about this situation. I mean, I heard things, but it's not like I was in depth, and that's how a lot of people treat YouTubers. It's just like, you're supposed to know everything. Like, we don't. And it's no different with Tasha. Like I said with her, when she said that she heard things, she's had certain conversations with Larry, but, she never really looked into it. It was just more so because he coming to her like it's nothing really serious. So that's how she approached it too. Okay, well, sue him. It's not like, oh, okay, I just went and looked up everything you're talking about, Larry. I just went and watched, okay, Larry, I just watched everything. No, that's not what happened. That's not what that were. And I believe her because I'm just like that too. If he would have called me with something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's something you should definitely take care of. I don't want somebody going around saying those things about me. So, especially if not true. So yeah, handle that. Yeah. If there's no victims and stuff like that coming forward, it's just something he just saying, and stuff like that and whatnot. Sue him. Hey. So yeah, I agree. Because I was kind of, I'm not going to say kind of, literally the same. It was the same with me. I was the same way. So I didn't really go research, or go look around or, and stuff like that. But afterwards I did, once, because I just felt like if I'm going to have an opinion on it, I should go look around, instead of just coming forward with a bunch of regurgitated information, go forward and look at what is proven to what not be true and to be true. I'm not questioning Levante's story at all. I'm not going to question it. Again, as of there is no perfect victim. Now, it's easier for a person that has been abused to remember what happened to them versus to all of the lead up, exactly what happened after. It gets fuzzy. It definitely does. But it doesn't mean, and the older you get, we get forgetful. A lot of the things that we could remember like yesterday, it ain't yesterday no more. Some time done passed, So yeah. So I'm just like, I'm not questioning what he's saying at all. So I'm not going around and look for ways that Levante's lying. He's not. All that matters to me is that Levante said that he did this to him. I don't care about an address or I don't care about any of that. What does that matter if it was at Motel 6 or Holiday Inn? It can happen. That's the problem. That's the problem. It happened. It don't matter if the things around it is fuzzy. There is no perfect victim. That's weird. For people to even, I just be like, oh, y'all better than me. Y'all better than me. This person even being accused of this I'm already kind of side-eyeing you, for defending in the first place. Unless there is literal proof, there is no way this could be true. That's not with Levante. It's not that type of situation. It's not that type of situation. It's not. Shout out to Speaking Sandy. She says, love your commentary on this matter. Interesting. I am a subscriber now. Thank you. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super sticker, sweetie, and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. There was another, so I hate missing them. Shout out to Speaking Sandy again. She says, Sean, you are on point and a defender of the victim according to your research. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not about to go around and, because again, if what I found exonerates Larry, or it's more on the side of Larry didn't do this, I'm going to go forward with that. I am not a biased person. I'm not. I'm not about to force Larry to have done something. I'm not. That ain't cool. Like I said, if this man didn't do this, he shouldn't be being accused of it, or any of that. But listening to Levantre's story and then listening to this Patreon, because he didn't feel the need to go and do this Patreon until after Tasha K. That's why I keep saying Tasha K exposes. Tasha K made, because she did. He didn't do none of this until Tasha did the PPP. He was not on Patreon doing this. Has he talked about it on Patreon and probably other platforms before? Yes, absolutely. But this conversation is happening because of Tasha. I mean, he still hasn't went on his YouTube and discussed this. And he's been live on his YouTube multiple times. So it shows you how innocent he is. Because again, if this is my name, I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting for my name. Shout out to Z for the super sticker. Thank you so much, sweetie. I'm fighting for my name. I don't care. Nobody gonna defend me like me, because I was there. You can't defend the person there better than them. That doesn't even make sense. You cannot defend someone so hard to where you are there. We weren't. So it's the same thing with Levantre. The reason I believe Levantre is because he's stating that these things have happened to him. He told people. It's not like he never said anything to anyone. And we have cases like that too, to where people don't tell a soul in what happened to them. So thank God Levantre did tell his mother. And he did tell other people. I'm glad he did. It leaves a trail. It leaves a trail. His mother said on Tasha K's show that she wanted to hire somebody to end Larry. She wanted to hire somebody to end Larry. Now, if you've ever defended Larry readers, if you've ever defended Larry before, this is the time to do so. This is the time to do so. Y'all get mad at YouTubers because they disagree with him and feel that he's guilty. Okay, well, this woman said that she wanted to end his life. But your problem with me? Okay. I don't want him to pass away. If anything, I feel like he should go to jail. And I feel like he feels in his spirit that he deserves to go to jail too. He does. He doesn't want to. So yeah, that's how I feel. No, I don't want him to pass away or anything like that. No. But do I want him to go to jail? Yeah. If he went to jail, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody else has to. What makes him so special? Well, who is he? Who is he? Larry, hit the link. Who are you? That you don't feel that you should have to pay for what you did, even if you don't feel like you're that person anymore, even if you feel like that person doesn't exist anymore. Who are you? You don't get to be the judge, jury, and God. Like, you're playing all of the roles, all of them. Shout out to Z. She says, what if you could have a sit down with Larry and Levantre together? That would be wild. I would sit down with Levantre. I would have a conversation with him. As far as Larry Reid, if he wants to have a real conversation, we can do an interview. We absolutely can. But it's going to be all of the hard-hitting questions. All of the hard-hitting questions. My main question would be, what makes you innocent? Literally, with Levantre. Because they want to use other receipts, the Larry readers, they want to use other receipts for all of the situations. Like, oh, well, they said that he did this and gave them that. Levantre didn't say that. So, yeah, you got to tuck that receipt back in, sweetie. Yeah, that coupon is expired. So, yeah. Or it ain't ready yet. It's too early. It don't start until February. It's still January. Just say February 1st to March 3rd is what that say. You coming up at here on this the January 23rd. Yeah. So that's all that were. That's all that were. Those receipts do not exonerate the Levantre case. It does not. It doesn't. Levantre never stated anything like that about Larry. No, not a word about an STI or anything like that. Never. He never said that. So where are the actual receipts if you're going to debunk a victim? Because that's a lot within itself. That's a lot within itself. Being beautifully honest says Larry needs to sit under hot lights in the police station. Big dot. I think that that's the main reason why Larry ended the case as soon as possible to try to get dismissed, because Larry doesn't want this to go to actual court. He does not. If Larry sat on that stand against Levontre, Larry would go down. So if Larry actually took this to court, if this actually went to court, okay, girl. Because Levantre's countersuit, because if he's suing him, Levontre could have a hell of a countersuit. A hell of a countersuit. Pain, trauma, all type that he's caused him. Pain and suffering, negligence, all type of things he could sue him for. All type of things. So yeah, I'm just like, well, why not just take the lawsuit all the way through? If you're so innocent, why dismiss it? Get it over with. Do it. Take it all the way. But I feel like Larry didn't want that, because again, if you got up there and said anything like this, that judge would be looking at him like he crazy. Like, get this PPP up out my courtroom. Because I promise you, he'll go in there and throw himself under the bus. Because this is all he did on his Patreon. He just threw himself under the bus. Absolutely. Yes. Because this was the most chilling statement. I'll play it again. The most chilling statement he said to me. Giselle said, what's crazy is all the evidence came directly from him. But it's not, it's like, what evidence? Now, I get the rapid test with the other accuser stating, I get that. That I can understand, and that would be a heavy receipt. But again, one is enough. I don't need to hear from 3 other people that may have had something happen with them with Larry. Levontre is enough. That's just how I feel. You don't have to do it to multiple people for me to feel how I felt from jump. So from jump, this is how I'm feeling. One is enough. I don't need to hear about it. So that's why I said none of the receipts matter. And I'm not yelling at y'all. I'm just saying, like the Larry readers, none of the receipts matter with Levontre telling the truth. No receipts matter. Larry threw himself under the bus with this live, and I'm not letting him run away from it. You confessed on multiple levels throughout this live, because you say the same thing again in this live on Patreon. And you're referring to yourself. So you're trying to like omit what is going on, like omission. Like, it's like, I see you. I see you. And then I watch your actions now. You're still that same person. You still do these same things. Why are there 2 YouTubers, and I'm not even going to say because I'm not trying to get in it. That's between them. But y'all know the 2 YouTubers yesterday. One YouTuber went live and dressed like them, and the other one, I just don't want nothing to do with it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I want to stay far away from it. I got my own stuff going on. They fighting. And I'm not saying like literally. I'm just, obviously, it's smoke. But you said in this live, you don't do that. You said in this live, you have no idea that the boys felt like a competition. That they were jealous of each other when it came to you. You had no idea. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean the same thing that's going on with two content creators right now? Males? But you sit here in my face in this live, in this Patreon, saying that you didn't know that type of stuff was happening. You didn't know that it was a competition when it came to you. Everybody had to come to you first, be there first, wanted to do everything to stay in your good graces. I'm like, it's happening in real time. I'm like, you're weird. You said you stopped watching. the P word. But you just had an OnlyFans where you can't even get the app without seeing it. It's everywhere. The same thing Levante said, you played for him. Inappropriate conversations about sexuality. You went over to that YouTuber's channel and brought up his nothing but his sexuality, basically. Those are all damn near your only questions. His OnlyFans and his sexuality. And that YouTuber is supposed to be straight. Just like Levante. This ain't looking good. I pay attention to behavior. I do. I want to hear Larry's team explain that. Well, explain that. Why does everything Levante said that he did to him, the questions, the inappropriateness, all of that, why was he just having that same conversation basically with the YouTuber live? The P word basically got brought up because that's what he was insinuating that he was doing. But we got to look over all of that. None of that matters. That it's a pattern. You know. We can't do patterns. Oh, no, stay away from patterns, Sean. Stay away from those. Those are no good. Those are no good. You need receipts. Okay, well, those are receipts. Patterns. That's definitely a receipt. I'm like, that's weird. I mean, he doesn't tell the truth. He's not an honest person. This is the same man that built the church around, again, he did not approve of same-sex anything. He preached against it. He said that out of his own mouth. Larry Readers, am I making that up? He said out of his own mouth that he preached against same-sex anything. Yet his wife was a lesbian, and I have. So, yeah. Yes, I've sucked the penis. I have. You know, so, but he's sitting there in the preaching in a pulpit every weekend preaching against that. So we know he lies. I mean, like, that's no secret. You know, Mr. He's not gay, but have you ever sucked a penis? I have. He said, what attitude? Like, how dare you? Don't I look like it? No. But he lied to us. He lied to a whole church. The same church. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. He said he wasn't gay. He said he wasn't that gay. He was trying to be like me. He said he ain't that gay. But he preached against his marriage. Y'all like the opposite. She's supposed to be, I have, and she ain't. And you supposed to be over there, and you not. I mean, how y'all gonna do that in bunk beds? How y'all gonna do that in bunk beds or twin beds in different rooms? I don't know. But whatever. Moving along. So, yeah, he's a liar. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely what he does. I'm like, yeah, he's guilty of sin. I'm just like, yeah, you tried it. Like, yeah, no, I don't believe you. You're a liar. I believe Levante. Mm-hmm. You're a known liar. I'm like, I didn't know all of this. You know, so I'm like, oh, the more he talked, the more he spoke, I just be like, I was appalled. I'm like, this is your pastor? My pastor would never. The most I know about my pastor is by him being married to the first lady, that I'm sure at some time they probably have intercourse. but we never heard about it. Mm-mm. Any of his explorations. Mm-mm. He never felt comfortable enough to say what he be saying. I'm just like, are you over here like baiting the like husbands? Because that's what it's given. Like, are you ever like baiting? Because I'm sure there's probably some straight men that are you ever baiting them? Gross. I'm just like, oh, you want straight boys? Oh, you want me? I'm like, oh my God. I said, this what here, this what the y'all over here listening to? I'm like, okay, ain't none of this of the Lord. Mm-mm. The devil is a liar. I said, oh no, ain't none of this of the Lord. I said, oh no, let me leave away from over here. This witchcraft. I said, I don't know what's going on over here. It is too gay. This is why I don't. This is why no disrespect, but I like my pastors hetero. This is why preach on, gay people, preach on. But I ain't coming to none of y'all damn church. So I can't. This is why I don't do gay churches. I'm like, girl. It's too much. Even the interview over there, you know, the YouTuber was fine, you know, in our mind, they were fine. You know, but him, like his energy, I'm just like, are you literally sitting over here flirting with them? I'm like, gross. I'm like, they don't want you. And I'm sure they told you that before you came. As far as we're concerned, Storm swear, you know, whatever. And Armand, he ain't worried about you. Armand, friend. He ain't, so yeah, he ain't going there. But I thought he don't do none of this stuff, you know? Yes, he was over there flirting. He absolutely was. He was flirting. Go watch it again. Watch it like two cute dudes. Because that's how he was. He was just like, oh, these niggas. He giving that energy like, ooh, scrumptious. You know, side, left, and right. Yes. Like is what he was giving. Girl. He was big flirting over there. He absolutely was, especially asking that YouTuber about his sexuality and all of it's like, why does any of that matter? I'm like, I don't get it, straight guy. Like, why does any of that matter? Like, I just didn't get it. I'm just like, I don't get this part. I'm like, I don't get this. Like, are you him flirting with Armand would have made more sense because you know Armand is gay openly. So that makes sense. You know, but the Stormisha part was given Levante. I was just like, oh, this is what he did to Levante. He is over there. I hope y'all need to go over there and tell that YouTuber that he was Levante. That he absolutely was. That he got his eye on you. Okay, is what that word. Because that's what he went over there and did. Like, as far as we know, that YouTuber is straight. So there was no reason for that flirtation and the sexuality questioning and you know when all of that was like, what's the reason? Why you care anyway, Pastor? Why do you care? Ain't you in enough trouble? Ain't you in enough trouble? Ain't you in enough trouble? Go to jail. Do that. Like, it's like, ugh, he going everywhere but jail. I'm just like, yeah, go to jail. Go to jail. You're annoying. Go to jail. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Borrowed time is what he is on. Borrowed time. And he did it all to himself. Let's listen to him once again state that this is not him anymore.
Clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it like that. Clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, you know, I'm gonna be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it like that. Lisa, I am so sorry. He would do, and nobody would be around. Now, what I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, you know, I want to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying.
Another reason I feel that he was talking about himself is, if you notice, before he says this, he's very hesitant. And when you're hesitant to say something, it could be one or two things. It could be a lie or the truth, you know, when you're hesitant to say something. Or it could be a way of trying not to make yourself, or what should I say, incriminate yourself. So he wanted to say what he was going to say, but he didn't want to say it in a way to where he was literally naming himself as said person, is what the energy is giving before he says, because he's very hesitant to speak right before he says it. So there's a very nervous energy inside of him. Again, I'll play it again. I definitely want y'all to hear it and hear it and hear it again. Hold on.
That I never went nowhere by myself, but when I was home, I always stayed up in the room, as I still do now. And just like now, everybody comes one by one into my room and asked me, engaged me, talked to me, however. So we were by ourselves, because there were things that he would do and nobody would be around. Now, what I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, you know, I'm going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was, when I was home, I always stayed up in the room, as I still do now. And just like now, everybody comes one by one into my room and asked me, engaged me, talked to me, however. So we were by ourselves, because there were things that he would do and nobody would be around. Now, what I'm not going to do, and I want to be very clear about this, and this is on purpose, and this is the reason why, you know, I'm going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did was not me. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you don't feel like he incriminating himself all throughout this, he was better off just shutting up, honestly. He was better off just being quiet, because this is not a good look. It is not a good look at all. It's literally like omission, like he literally, I'm just saying. So you basically just told us you did it? I'm like, and it's not even like in so many words, because he says it. You know, you said, that's not me. Not, this didn't happen, or he literally piggybacked off of Levantre's story, off of what Levantre said. Because you got to remember, he cut his wife off at that point, because she was stating in the beginning of this Patreon that there's no way that could have happened. No way. You're never alone with him, blah, blah, blah. He interjected to say that we were alone. Okay. And keeps going on further within the conversation, and then gets to this part to where he says that Levantre's claims against him basically are true. It's just, that's not me. Because he's not negating them. He's not saying Levantre's claims are false and whatnot. He's lying about a lot of things. That's not me. That's not what he said. You know, he didn't say that. So he's agreeing with Levantre. He's agreeing that what happened to Levantre happened. He's just not taking the blame, because he's not that person anymore. So since he's not that person anymore, he's pushing the blame onto a separate entity of himself, so that he doesn't have to take physical blame for it. So, because that's what I said. If my abuser said this, oh yeah, I would definitely keep this. Oh yeah, I would keep this real close to me, this audio, because it would be hard to prove. Playing this to a jury, I don't know. I don't know. Playing this to a jury, that's what I said. He literally incriminated himself. Nobody did it. He did it. So it's like, if you're going to get mad, you got to get mad at Larry. It's like, how can you argue with me? He using his own words. Like, I'm not twisting his words and changing it into something different. No, it's right there in front of you. He's not stating that Levante lied and that that's not me. He did not say that. He's saying that if Levante's claims are true, is what he's saying. Because he's not saying the opposite. So that's how we know he's saying that Levante's claims are true. That's how. Because if they weren't, that's what he would have said. Why did he not say that? So y'all can't speak for him. You can't. That's him telling on himself. That's him saying it. And I feel like it was relieving to him. So it's like him playing a people's face, because it's like me saying certain things out loud like this. This is me taking responsibility. So that's his walk away. I get to walk away from this being accountable for it. But you're not being held accountable for it. So that's the difference. I think Larry keeps pushing the 17. It's another thing. If this didn't happen, why do you keep pushing the number 17? Who cares? Who cares? Either way, he said himself multiple times during this live that he had inappropriate conversations with a 17-year-old. He was 28 during these conversations. Damn near 30. I'm 34. And at 30, you didn't. No. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Nothing. So at 35, same thing. Still ain't got nothing to talk about with a 17-year-old. Nothing, unless I'm related to him. And we hanging out, or something. But other than that, I don't have nothing to say to a 17-year-old, but hello and goodbye. That's about it. So, but I'll be damned if I'm going to be sitting there having a conversation, inappropriate sexual conversation with a 17-year-old. That's admitting enough right there for me. Like, it's like he keeps admitting things and people just don't care. It's just, oh, it's fine. Then he's sitting over here saying that I outwardly, out loud will admit the fact that I was having inappropriate conversations with the 17-year-old. Like, that is okay. It's not. Like, that's not okay. Like, gross. It's predatorial. Because you thought that was okay. Again, if you do something with a 17-year-old, you'll do something with a 16-year-old. You do something with a 15-year-old, you do something with a 14-year-old. Why? Because they can all be mistaken for those ages. You could easily walk up to a 14-year-old right now and mistake them for like 16 or 17. You could easily walk up to a 15-year-old right now and mistake them for 18. It's easy to do. So that's why it's predatorial. Because that means that even if somebody told you like, hey, I'm 16 and they're really 12, but could pass for a 16-year-old, you're still going to go. Type of situation. Predatorial is what that gives. So it's not that you didn't know that they were young. You didn't care about that. You just didn't know that they were that young, but you didn't care. That's not anything you cared about because you didn't want them necessarily for their age anyway. You want it for what their age represents. Innocence. Innocence. So that's has nothing to do with that. That's why a lot of predators, if they can't do it with, especially ones that are gay, that like to do it with men, they go for straight men because it's an innocence, because it's not anything that they do. So everything about it is new to them, just like doing it to somebody that is young. It's the same thing. You just switch the energy. So you sitting over there talking to that YouTuber like that about his sexuality in his YouTube, I went right to Levante. I'm like, okay, well, this is the same. This is just what you do when you're around men. This is just how you are. This is just what you do. This is just anybody that you're around that you find attractive. This is what you do, men-wise, because you're not attracted to women. So I'm like, but yeah, that makes complete sense. I'm like, oh, okay. This is weird, but that people are just overlooking all this stuff. But I mean, hey, but because he's still doing he's still the same person. But he said that's not me. Yes, it is. You are still that person. The only thing that you may not be doing right now is have a house full of teenagers and 17, 18, 16, 17. That's the only difference. Other than that, you're still the same person. No, you don't get to do stuff like that and just be like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to do that anymore because I have a name now. Because that's the only thing that I feel like really stopped you. That's it. I feel like you were doing it in the first place because you weren't Larry Reid at the time. You weren't that person. You weren't. Your image didn't necessarily matter besides to the community, the people around you. You know, and it was a knit community, so just like a city. You know, now you worldwide. You Larry live. So that, of course, you're not going to do any of those things. I mean, you could, but that would be dumb. Dumb like when the decisions you made, like with Levante. Dumb. You said out of your own mouth. I had inappropriate conversations with him. I can admit that. So why wouldn't the conversations go on to other things? Because why are you having them with them anyway? And then Larry, this same conversation, he talks about a trans person towards the end. It talks about how they said that they couldn't sleep unless they had something that, you know, something had to be in them and they like to be spirit and, you know, all of this stuff. Again, why was that person talking to you about all that? That person was really sexually active. How did you know that they was extremely sexually active? How did you know that? Why are you telling them to embate and what? But then you were around Levante, and we're not gonna think that you was having those same type of conversations. How did you know all this about this person? But then you get around Levante and you okay. Okay. But I guess we're supposed to overlook all of that because if we look at that type of stuff, we haters. No, I'm not gonna look around it. I'm gonna look right at it. I'm just one of the I'm gonna keep saying these things. One of the key elements is him admitting that he had inappropriate conversations. Conversations lead on to other things. That's why you have them. How do you know how far to go if you're not having conversations? Like, you talk about it. That's why they call it grooming. Is that you discuss it. It's that simple. You went around and you used your image and the people looking at you as a good man to do behind the scenes what you were hiding in public. It's that simple. Larry, you preached against same sex, but you want the same sex. So you had to suppress it. When you are suppressing certain things, they come out. Okay? So if you have basically handpicked men that you are attracted to and have men that you are attracted to do certain things for you, like rub your feet and your back and your everything else, have them all living with you, surrounded by men. Everyone that comes around states that everybody in this church is gay. Like, this is a gay church. Like, everybody's gay. At least everybody that's around him is gay. When people are displaying things of eyeliner and all types of stuff. Okay. I've been in plenty of churches. You can tell when somebody giving and when somebody just, you know, you can just tell. And then even if in the majority of churches, even if they hold that in, you know, so they still gonna give mask, you know. So yeah, you suppress that energy. It's not like you can just go out and be with other men publicly because you are a pastor. So a lot to everyone, especially within the area, knows you. Suppressing your sexuality, you are going to react on it. That is why you became addicted to porn. Because you can act it out. It's no different. A lot of gay men, since we couldn't do what we really wanted to do, we would do it behind closed doors, and we would use things like porn, and whatnot to relieve that urge. So that's why he became addicted to it. Like, that's why a lot of people become, especially gay people, become addicted to it. The ones that are on the DL, ones that, so if they're not doing things in back alleys with people random stuff like that to get rid of the urge, just like watching Brokeback Mountain. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's an urge that comes over you. So it's like you can't, fight it. You can't shake it. The only way to shake it is by acting on it. I know. So he acted on it with the boys there. That makes complete sense because we're all in the same house. The secret stays beneath me. It stays here. Being a pastor and all that stuff, you're busy. It's hard to, even if you want to go out to another town and do something with something, feel that urge, elsewhere. Sometimes you just don't have the time for that. So I feel that he acted on the ones that were around him, ones that could keep said secret. And took his urges out, I believe, on people like Levante. That's what it's giving. That's just how I feel about it. Like I said, I really sat around and thought about this. I thought about it. Larry did not want to be known as gay. He did not. He even preached against it in his church. Whole time, his wife is a lesbian and he is gay. He married a lesbian so that she didn't want to request sex. If he would have married a heterosexual woman, she's going to want to have sex. She's going to want to consummate the marriage. She doesn't want to do all that. It's going to be a problem. But if she's a lesbian, no big deal. No big deal. I love T.S. Madison. Block this person. So yeah, that's just how I feel. I find that I don't feel like I'm too far off. I mean, Larry, Larry, can I talk? That's just how I feel. He couldn't do it publicly, so he did it with the ones around him because they would keep it secret. Because he couldn't be known as gay. That's why a lot of, church things like that has happened with churches is because they preach against it. So it will make sense for certain people to, unfortunately, have to pay horrible consequences for someone that just won't go be gay. That's what the majority of men that do prey on boys, but men that prey on boys are married or in a relationship with a woman. Yes. A high ratio of them. Because they don't want to be gay. People go to dire lengths to keep their secret. They will. Because being gay isn't a choice. Something you're born. How do you fight something you were born? You can't. You can try to change it, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be what you are. So yeah. That's just how I feel. Yeah. If Larry would like to call me a liar, that's completely fine. But nobody else will. But again, in the Black community as well, being gay, a gay pastor, no. If it was so accepted, then why was Larry preaching against it? How hypocritical is that? How hypocritical is that? Wow. He literally preached against it. He said it out of his mouth. And he said it in his Patreon too. Absolutely. He said in his Patreon, he said he was 10 times rougher on same-sex marriage than just marriage in general. Yeah. Against it. Like he tries to sugarcoat it. No, you were abomination. You were that gay the whole time. A queer up there saying all that. A gay man is up here telling us being gay is wrong. Weird. But I mean, hey, if you want to look at him as trustworthy, you go right ahead. There's nothing he'll say in life that I'll trust. I believe Larry's guilty. I do. And there's a lot of reasons to where that could be so. It's too many reasons proving him guilty than proving him innocent. Too many. Even with like probable cause, just stuff like that. Like, no. He tried it. I believe Levondre. And I stand with Levondre. I do. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who don't like it. Larry, I would love to hear what he thinks, about a lot of these things that I said. Because I think I had a lot of good points. I do. It's easy to argue with someone and to call somebody out that isn't speaking logically. Because we will have way more trolls in here if I wasn't speaking logically. A lot of the people that support Larry are even on the fence. They are. That's why it's hard for them to come here. But they still come here. But they come to hate. And they sit back and they're just like, you know what? He making some damn good points here. You know what? You changing my mind. Like I wasn't even, I was about to, but you know what? I can't even argue with that. That's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way. I didn't even know that happened. I didn't even know he said that. Yeah. Shout out to Tasha K. She did when she was live one time, she was talking about this too, and how Larry discussed that he had multiple, personalities, and how one side of him that's what I said. Tasha K exposes Larry Reid multiple personalities. Because she's the one who made, because I didn't even think about it and not even think about it. And when she said that, I'm like, okay, well, I wonder, so then I went and looked. And then I'm just like, oh, okay, I heard he talked about it a little bit, but I'm like, oh, well, then in the video, when he says this, I'm
going to be very clear about this. What he is touting and saying that I did.
Sorry. He's talking about himself. I'm like, oh, okay. He's talking about himself. Because he's not talking about that elder pastor. No. He's speaking in like third person. Is what it's giving. It wasn't me. That it wasn't Larry. Is what he's saying. That because his name is Larry. And it was you. It absolutely was. But I feel like he's just trying to stay within this moment. That's not me anymore. I'm not that person. So I get it, what happened, but you ain't even got to worry about that person because he's not even here anymore. I'm not that guy. That was not me. That was not me doing that to you. It was this other entity, this other being, that takes over me, when these things happen. I'm not present, because if I was present, this Larry, if I was present, none of that would have ever happened. I would have stopped all of that. But when I start grooming and having certain, dirty sexual conversations with you, and all of that, that's not me. That switch got flipped, like Dahmer, the switch was flipped. But, that's not me. After all that stuff happens, the switch turned back. That's me. That's who that's what that were, is what he's saying. During what happened to you, that wasn't me. I'm not that person. I'm not. That's gone. Chris Stokes literally said the same thing to Raz B and Ricky Romance on the phone. It's a viral video. It's still up. You can just type it in. Chris Stokes admits, blah, blah, blah. It's his exact words. That's not me. He said, I'm not that person anymore. And then he said, that's not me. Look, you don't get to do that because now that you saved or now that you were Jehovah's Witness, that part of you is gone. Like, yeah, no, you still did what you did. It's a wrap. Like, cut it out. But he literally said the same thing. So I'm just, and it's because of his religion too. I promise you. I kid you not. It was because of his, because of his religion. Because he's now a Jehovah's Witness. So he did the same thing. The same thing. Absolutely. Okay, but I love y'all. I don't necessarily feel well. I hear the stuffiness is coming back, but I'm drinking my tea. I'm gonna go on station head for a little bit. So if y'all want to come over to the station head, we're messy. We're absolutely messy. So we're gonna go over to station head and be messy for a little bit. I will be live again tomorrow. There's more information. It is what it is. Like I said, I believe Levante. And I'm focused on that. So tomorrow we will do a breakdown of what Levante's mom had to say and connect the dots in between what Larry Reid said here in this Patreon as well. We absolutely are. Justice for Levante. Like, what is the problem? What is the issue? Thank you all for, thank you. I really hope so. Because, I want to be more vibrant and, but it's just like, I really don't feel good. But I love you guys. So again, Jaguar Wright is home. For the people that weren't here when we talked about it earlier, she is home. Shout out to Jaguar Wright. We love her. She is home. She's safe. She's good. And so, yeah. So I'm about to get out of here, but we will be on station here for a little bit. Y'all know I'm about to go talk my ish. Y'all know I'm about to go talk my ish. So much has happened. We got to talk. It's going to be a calm conversation. Probably. Because y'all know I'll go ziggity bang. But we're gonna go over to station for a little bit because I know what's a lot y'all want to talk about. So we're gonna go over there and talk about that mess over there. So again, thank you all for being here. Shout out to everybody for all the super stickers and all that good stuff and just the support in general. I love you all. Until the next show, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Flex, 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 flex,